YouTube, and welcome to the world's most embarrassing deaths. Yes, you heard me right. No, I don't know what they are, but we're about to find out. Do you want to play bingo? I will guess that the most embarrassing death is someone slipping on a banana peel, because, yeah, that would be pretty embarrassing and pretty funny. But all aboard the hype train! And remember, leave a comment down below if you want me to watch a specific video. I appreciate you clicking on the video and enjoy.
Embarrassing royal deaths.
Louis the First.
This is Louis III, and this is his dad, Louis II, King of West Francia, also known as the Kingdom of the Franks. Hey Frank. Hey Frank. Louis II here is renowned for being a very peaceful and very loving ruler for his very short 2-year reign between the years of 877 and 879. And now, he's dead, which is even more peaceful. Now, Louis III is the king to be at the ripe old age of 16. But since his parents married in secret before he was slopped out, his claim to the throne is being questioned. Now, in order to keep things...
Why did he have to say it like that, man? His first mistake was being French. Damn! Chat brutal. You guys are brutal. Slopped out. I've never heard anyone refer to a child being born as slopped out. That's so wrong!
Civil, Louis had struck a deal with his younger brother to rule together. With that agreement, West Francia was split in two. Okay, this is my half, and there's yours.
Yeah, that never goes well.
My side has the Xbox.
The Xbox!
Louis III got the north, and his brother, Carloman II, got the south. Together, the two brothers fought off any would-be usurpers from East Francia who contested their reign. Battles were fought for over a year with some back and forth, but ultimately ended in a loss, and a portion of their kingdom was ceded to the east. But while East Francia celebrated its victory, a distant threat loomed over the horizon. Those dang Vikings were showing up in 881 and began to pillage the village and plunder asunder. However, East Francia, still riding their high, managed to kick the Vikings' shit in. Not wanting to sail their ships home in shame, the Vikings instead tried their luck with West Francia. Bad move. They would soon learn that two kings were better than Vikings. Louis and Carloman went on the...
Boo! I say boo, but I'm smiling. I'm smiling and laughing at it. It's so bad, it's good again!
Offensive and took the invaders by surprise. Together, the brother armies slaughtered the Vikings, cutting down around 9,000 men in the clash. This victory was absolutely huge for the two young monarchs, who were praised by both Western and Eastern Frankish kingdoms. Now keep in mind that both kings were teenagers, so the ego trip was insane. That being the case, Louis took to finding himself a queen, as to produce an heir and to cement his legacy. Louis decided to pursue love in 882 and ended up...
Oh no! Oh no, he pursued love. He went on Tinder of Yule. I don't know, man. Pauses, humors, bad jokes. I love bad jokes. I love puns. Finding a woman, the worst mistake one can find. Does she have the genius trait? That is my question. That is my only question. And there will be some in the comments that will get this reference, and there might be even some in chat that will get that reference. But if you do get the reference, I applaud you.
Quite literally pursuing a potential partner. In a bout of hopefully consensual horseplay, the young maiden fled from the eager monarch on horseback to her father's house.
What the fuck?
Louis, very calmly hunting down his love interest, ended up completely conking his dome on the top of a low doorway.
No way!
That's certainly one way to get head. And since he had yet...
No freaking way, bro. He tried to forgot to duck. It doesn't stop, bro. It doesn't stop. Oh, man. That's brutal. That's brutal. I like the fact that he's angry on the tombstone as well. It's like the more I look at it, the better it is. Ah.
to sow his seed, his younger brother was left to rule on his own. Well, he died 2 years later after being accidentally stabbed by his servant during a hunting trip. Bummer.
Accidentally stabbed. I don't think it was accidentally, but damn, both brothers faced quite the unfortunate situation there, I guess. I mean, that is fate. That yeah. If Crusader Kings taught me anything, it's accurate.
It's stories like this that make you realize just how stupidly fragile we all are. Just like that, a family lineage is cut short. Imagine if your great-great-great-great-grandmother fell in the shower, completely erasing the possibility of your existence.
Don't worry, nowadays people just choose to end their bloodlines. So, yeah, there's that.
Poor guy probably didn't even know who she was. But he could have, with today's sponsor, MyHeritage. Where'd he go?
Wait, that's a really nice segue. What the heck?
For discovering your family's history. No need to spit a green glob into an envelope and have your DNA logged for government cloning purposes. MyHeritage is well equipped with over 33 billion records for you to discover.
Oh my
and most
God.
of these people are already dead. Avoid the lengthy and awkward stories about your family's history when you can discover everything yourself. Grandma, what were your parents like? Oh, very abusive.
But I already had those conversations. Too
as
late
long as
for
you
me.
can enter some basic information like a name and a date of birth, MyHeritage can cross-reference existing records to fill the gaps. Thanks to their instant discoveries feature, MyHeritage brought me back to my roots. Literally, I apparently come from a long line of fellas with the surname Root who sailed across the pond from England in the 1700s. This is my great times 8 grandfather, Captain Joseph Root IV. I bet he never thought he'd be brought up 239 years after his death, but here we are. Quit looking at my dinghy. Ever see this painting before? Well, I don't want to brag, but the artist is my 8th generational ancestor,
that could be a fun
John
one
Trumbull,
to do.
also known as the painter of the American Revolution. I'm clearly carrying on his legacy, and I know he'd be proud. MyHeritage even lets you bring people back from the dead.
Oh my God.
Colorizing or even animating historical photos of our dearly departed. Take, for instance, my great-great-grandma's great-great-uncle. Look how great he is.
Look how great he is.
So if you want to start branching out and discovering your origins, use my links below to get a free 14-day trial to start building today. I was a bit skeptical at first, but thanks to MyHeritage, I discovered my Argentinian great-grandfather had Germanic roots. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Little Basil I.
Oh no. Oh, he has really good jokes, man. He has really good jokes. Also, thank you so much, everyone, for the hype trains. Level 8 hype train. I got Puffer Pop. Look at that. Puffer Pop emo. Gets angry and then pops. That was so funny, man. Damn. Alright, back to the video. Let's see what an embarrassing death that was.
Was quite the inspirational success story. Born into a dirt-poor Armenian family in the Byzantine province of Macedonia way back in 811, baby Basil had quite the social ladder to climb. But such a challenge was deemed necessary as he was determined to dodge his destitute destiny.
Look at him, so angry.
Too bad that he and his family were captured by Bulgarians when he was just 2. Luckily, Basil was able to escape his captors. Just took 23 years. He sought to live out his newfound freedom and fled to Constantinople, which is not yet Istanbul. Possessing incredible strength and an uncanny ability to roll 20s on any and all charisma checks, Basil made leaps and bounds up that social ladder.
What a blessed
baby! He began working as a lowly stable boy, got promoted to servant under a relative of the emperor, met a wealthy cougar noblewoman who just threw money at him, dabbled in sweaty, slippery wrestling.
Wait, hold back. Where do we meet this cougar that throws money at people? Because I know some people interested in that. Like that, I think that's an important part. You can't just go like, yeah, he just got lucky. Well, he actually did just say that he did get lucky. Man, where do you find that luck?
Took on a gig as a bodyguard for Supreme Empire King Emperor.
Look at those abs. My God, you could break stones on them.
Guy Michael III. Now, you'd figure that being a bodyguard to the Emperor would be a great place to coast until retirement, but Basil was just getting started.
No, usually you die as a bodyguard to someone that's an emperor, and I wouldn't want to be a bodyguard. No.
He managed to gain the utmost trust of the emperor, even being formally adopted as a son.
How does that happen? Man, they must have really liked him.
And taking advantage of this, Emperor Mikey had been convinced by Basil that his own uncle was secretly plotting to take the throne, so he gave Basil permission to address the issue. He did. This false act of loyalty resulted in the emperor crowning Basil as co-emperor.
What? Man, the emperor must have been a really, really dumb fucker. Damn. That chick's, yeah, that the most embarrassing royal deaths that's high up there. Cha, the backstabbing that's about to occur. Probably, maybe.
Which was not his best move. You see, Emperor Michael III wasn't very good in his decision making, which is probably why the public didn't favor him all that much.
Probably.
Basil had one last obstacle in the way of the crown: his newly adoptive dad.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The ambitiousness is starting to get there. It's starting to affect him. No. Protecting someone so well, you end up adopted. One hell of a pay raise. Yeah. There we go.
But that's nothing a quick swipe of a sword can't fix. Basil dropped the "co" in his title and was now the full-fledged emperor of the Byzantine Empire in 867. Despite having zero qualifications for the job, Basil's establishment of the Macedonian dynasty brought the Byzantine Empire into a golden age, with various military victories, large-scale construction, and significant cultural and legal reforms. Problem is, when you get into power through murder, you're always going to be looking over your shoulder for the next person trying to do the same thing to you.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, I guess it's a good thing, because that did happen a lot back then. I mean, it still happens, I guess.
Now, I'm not going to question the logistics of it, but during a routine hunting trip in 886, the now elderly Basil managed to get his belt stuck in a deer's antlers.
Seriously?
I don't know.
How?
The animal went wild, as animals tend to do, dragging Basil across the Windows XP default landscape for 16 whole miles. That's at least 2 kilometers. A servant had managed to cut the emperor free, but the damage was done. Although somehow still alive, the emperor sustained tremendous injury. The servant, still brandishing his iconic belt-cutting knife, was accused of attempted murder and was sentenced to death. Wait, what?
What? That poor servant, man, should have just let him get... I'm sorry, I apologize for what's about to come out of my mouth. About to get derailed. He should have just let him get derailed.
Emperor Basil I died a bit later from his infected wounds. Old Edmund Ironside was king of England for a whole 7 months in 1016 after his rad dad Athelred II died under unknown circumstances. Poor Edmund rose to power at a pretty bad time. Those gosh damn Vikings were gaining a foothold in England, and they needed a stern talking to at the very least. Not just any Vikings though, these were Danish Vikings, which were much more formidable, flaky, and flavorful. The 26-year-old king fought back hard against the...
I like how he included flavorful. I'm like, that important detail.
Viking invaders, throwing whatever English forces he could at them, and saw quite a few victories, granting the king the nickname Ironside for his resilience. But even though he won a few battles, he had yet to win the war. The final conflict, the Battle of Asandin, near modern-day Essex, ended in Danish victory, where there was much rejoicing and many crumbs. Following this loss, a treaty was signed by King Edmund and Viking King Canute. Canute, being a real Canute, agreed to allow...
Hey, we saw that in Vinland Saga.
Edmund to continue his reign, but only with the control of Wessex, the heart of Anglo-Saxon England. All English land north of the River Thames was now under Danish control. Now, there was a special stipulation that stated whichever king died first, the other...
Hey guys, did you see? Did you see this very subtle, important part of the letter? Oh, man.
Special stipulation that stated whichever king died first, the other shall inherit the whole country. That sounds like great motivation for assassination plots. Lo and behold, just 1 month later in October of 1016, Edmund Ironside met with a terrible fate.
Ah, he was accidentally impaled, cha. Vlad the Impaler would giggle from that, yeah.
While sitting on his second most important throne, an assailant was assigned to assassinate the king's ass. Yep, old Ironsides caught a blade between his cheeks when he was at his most vulnerable.
Oh no! That's a bummer!
According to some historical sources, an assassin hid under the king's private turlet, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. Edmund,
he literally
as planned,
got him
died of his wounds, granting King Canute full control over England, which he ruled for 2 decades.
Bro. That is probably one of the most embarrassing deaths he could have, just dying on the toilet like that. Ah.
Being the youngest son of 4 to William the Conqueror, Henry I didn't even have a chance of becoming a burger king, let alone any kind of respected monarch. When Daddy William logged off the server in 1087, the late king's possessions were divided as such. His eldest son, Robert, inherited Normandy and was made duke. His second son, Richard, got nothing. He was dead. From a hunting accident,
He was bad,
no
man.
less. His third and
Hunting accident. Man, there were a whole lot of those hunting accidents, wink.
favorite son, William, inherited the crown of England and was begrudgingly promoted to King William II overnight. I say begrudgingly because it is believed that William II would have preferred to inherit Normandy. Oh well, finally, little Henry was given lots of money and a
imagine
tiny bit
having preference of what to
countryside.
inherit.
But that was immediately yoinked by his now king brother, which never caused any internal resentment in the coming years. Now, some historians believe that King William 2.0 didn't care much for his new majestic role, and as a means of escape from his kingly duties, he frequently went on hunting trips. You can probably see where this is going.
Another accident.
During one of these trips, William, who wasn't much of an adventurer, took an arrow in the chest. Now, since lungs aren't where arrows are usually stored, William quivered in pain as the arrow knocked the wind out of him, and he drew his last breath shortly after.
Damn, you don't store arrows inside your lungs? Oh man. Oh man. You played Crusader Kings 2, you know how those accidents happen, yep. Yep. A lot of bedroom accidents too.
Yeah, hunting trips are lethal to nobility. Of course, some historical speculations
they
suggest
took his
that the
breath
friendly
away.
fire may not have been so friendly. It is possible that the fiasco was a plot concocted by Henry to seize the crown. After hearing of his older brother's demise through his own ear holes, Henry speed ran to the royal treasury and no-clipped to the crown to claim the throne for himself.
Damn!
It certainly didn't help dispel the rumors of foul play. Now, the public wasn't exactly against what had happened, as King William II was a bit of a dick. As the new head honcho, King Henry I immediately began a rollback on many of his late brother's brutal policies, replacing them with much more successful judicial and financial reforms.
You know, when they like the brother more just because he goes back on the word of the other one. Yeah, the reform tax law.
Being the most educated of the 4 brothers, Henry peacefully ruled England and progressed the kingdom during his reign. Sure, he also invaded Normandy and held his last brother prisoner for life, but that's beside the point. Henry eventually married a Scottish princess and had himself 2 legitimate children that he loved very much, and dozens of illegitimate little crotch goblins whom he didn't. Daddy, I want a popsicle. Now, of course, there has to be a little bit of conflict sprinkled in, so his son and only heir got caught up in the White Ship disaster of 1120, which was a titanic tragedy. The titular White Ship, a vessel transporting around 300 people, including many nobles, struck a big old boulder and sank in the English Channel. Only one soul survived, but it wasn't the prince, so who cares?
One soul
Henry
survived?
into a depressive spiral, as many of his subjects refused to recognize his daughter as a rightful heir to the crown. A woman ruling? Ugh, gross, said the English.
Yeah.
In his sad state, Henry
said a lot of countries, not just English. Back then, it was like unheard of. It's like, women? Nah.
Cheered himself up the only way a king knows how, with a good old-fashioned hunting trip. But on this trip, Henry
Not
gorged
again!
himself on lamprey. You know, those weird little wiggly sucking
Seriously?
teeth fish. Yeah, apparently those were a delicacy. Despite numerous warnings from his physician to cut it out, Henry continued to chew through the little suckers like candy. Your Majesty, that's a bit much, isn't it? King Henry I contracted food poisoning and died from the illness a week later in 1135 at the age of 66, bringing an end to the Norman dynasty.
Jesus Christ, man, when you don't listen to your physicians.
King Charles II was an asshole, which is why history remembers him as Charles the Bad. Having been born and raised in France and descending from a line of French rulers, Charles felt destined to be the big baguette in charge one day, and when his mother...
What? I did not see that one coming. Oh.
Who was the only daughter of former King Louis X of France, faded from existence, Charles received his inheritance, the paltry kingdom of Navarre, a pathetic spit of land in northern modern-day Spain.
Yay!
This sad excuse for a kingdom was an insult to his name, an insult he would never forget. Although now a king at the age of 17, Charles continued to spend his time in France, hoping to build enough influence to gain recognition for his claim to the crown. But he wasn't successful. He would spend the next several decades double-crossing, manipulating, and backstabbing his way through life.
Ah, he was a scheming master. Yes, we do like the good ones, the good schemers.
Pitting England and France against each other during the 100 Years' War. He had deceived, murdered, and betrayed for the sake of gaining power.
I don't appreciate this. Sleep well, Benz. Oh my god.
He eventually helped spark a revolution in France. No, not the French Revolution. That's not for a while. This uprising was the Jacquerie, a peasant rebellion in 1358 against French nobles. Charles led a suppressive force against the peasants to appear to be the savior of France, but everyone saw right through the ruse. After that publicity stunt, Charles lost almost all political support in France and had to turn to England for help. He ended up pleading with English King Dude Guy Edward III to
oh my god! He put us... this guy, man, he was like so ambitious and so needy and so backstabby that he went to the English.
Invade the weakened France and divide the spoils between them. But King Edward was all, no. The king had zero trust for Charles and refused the offer, eventually making peace with France. For now.
Did you guys hear the backing sound of the truck? That's a nice sound effect for the editing.
Now, a few years later, Charles was back on his bullshit, throwing himself in wars and declaring loyalty to both sides in exchange for gaining land and power.
Oh my fucking god. Ah, the two-timer, man. It never goes well.
He would just favor whichever side was winning. He did get involved in the Spanish Wars between 1365 and 1368, but faked his own kidnapping in order to avoid participating in battle. And that stunt was instantly recognized as cowardice, making Charles a laughingstock of Western Europe.
Jesus Christ.
In 1378, the annoying little fly that was Charlie II was finally swatted. His tiny kingdom was invaded by Spanish forces and promptly wiped out. Charles sought refuge in France and was forced to surrender in shame. Although he retained his crown, he had no power whatsoever. 9 years later, in 1387, Charles the Bad fell ill and was pretty much immobile. His doctor prescribed that his body be wrapped in alcohol-soaked linen sheets. And these sheets were sewn around his body each night to promote any healing. Well, one night when finishing up her king sewing duties, a maid had no scissors to cut the last thread of the linen. There were no blades to be found that could finish the job. What do you think she did?
Oh no! Oh no! I blaze trap. Okay. A, she left to find scissors. B, she used a lit candle. C, she subscribed. Or D, she used her teeth. Obviously, she is the lit candle. But chat, you should pick a C. You should subscribe.
Time's up. The correct answer was B. In a moment of completely terrible judgment, the young maid resorted to using an open flame candle to melt the thread off.
Nice. Good job.
Charles II, who wanted to be a...
I don't think that's an embarrassing death. I think that's just a gruesome death, man. That is brutal. He was burned alive by incompetence, nonetheless. Not even assassinated. Not even Not even accidental. Just incompetent.
French king so bad was promptly flambéed in his bed as the maid panicked and fled.
Well, what
Henry
would
II
you have
of
done?
France was a decent king between the years of 1547 up until
Incompetence accident quotation. What do you mean? He had nothing left. He had nothing. He had his title. Sure, you could say someone really hated him. I think that one was pure incompetence. I don't think that one was a fake accident.
until his death in 1559. Nothing spectacular, but decent. He's remembered as an advocate for keeping the Catholic faith in France and suppressing them smelly Protestants. He had quite a few either burned at the stake for heresy or had their tongues cut out so they couldn't talk trash about Catholicism.
Damn.
Perhaps his bigger claim to fame, though, was his participation in ending the Italian Wars, which waged across 65 years. With the signing of the Treaty of Cato Cambyses, the deadly wars were finally at an end, and there was much rejoicing.
The way
One
he said
particular
it.
event of celebration was conducted by our subject, King Henry II. To commemorate the end of the wars, as well as his daughter's marriage to King Philip II of Spain, Henry held a jousting tournament. You know, that silly medieval
my
sport where two men
God.
hold long wooden poles on horseback and just charge at each other trying to knock the other off. Yeah, I don't get it either, but hey, it's way more entertaining than baseball.
Kudos to him for painting that face like that.
Anyway, King Henry II held the tournament on June 30th, 1559 and took it upon himself to participate as a challenger. Perhaps the last bad decision of his life. Set against his
Perhaps? What do you mean, perhaps? It's either the last bad decision.
own captain of the King's Guard, the two set off to consensually jab their long sticks into each other. With the
Consensually?
ASMR pleasures of a wooden crunch, the captain's lance hit its target and shattered upon impact, as they're designed to do. Problem was, some of the splintered wood decided to
Oh,
nuzzle itself right into
no.
the king's eyeball for warmth. Oh my god, oh my god, okay, I'm sorry, you're fine, you're okay. Royal surgeons raced to the king's aid, but were unable to treat the wound. He's gonna be okay, right, Doc? Tough to say. Problem seems to be this big old piece of wood here. I highly recommend he rest up for a few days and we'll see what happens. Are you gonna remove the wood?
Jesus
I'm sorry.
Christ.
I was unaware that you were the royal surgeon. The medics failed to properly treat the king's wounds, which only got worse over the next few days,
Oh,
leading
no.
to severe infection. I may have been wrong. King Henry II splintered off from this world on June 10th, 1559.
Jesus Christ! Like the splintered off pun, but Jesus Christ. Ah, man, that is so gruesome. Oh, just dying from incompetence. Again.
What a bunch of silly stuff.
Nice sound effect usage, though.
Right? I have more ridiculous royal deaths on the
Oh,
list, so if
man.
you do want a part 2, let me know in the comments. Remember to click my
yeah.
links below to claim your free 14-day trial with MyHeritage and start discovering your family tree today. Are you descended from
Oh.
royalty, notoriety, or are you from a lineage of humble laborers who suffered
Do
through
you wanna
centuries
know,
of
by
hardships,
the way,
or you
Cha,
struggle to pick up the phone to schedule a
where-
dentist appointment? Find out today.
Like,
and
do
while
you
you're
want
at
to
it,
know
here's some more videos
your
to watch.
heritage? Do you want to know where you come from? I'm like, I don't particularly care if I came from farmers or rich people. It's like so irrelevant to my day-to-day life. But yeah, this was a really cool video. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It's so crazy though to me. Like some of these deaths, the most embarrassing one remains, I guess, the guy that died on the toilet, followed by the dude that was chasing the woman and just, you know, didn't duck. That was pretty funny. The other two were kind of painful. Kind of very painful. From farmer to VTuber. I mean, you're not wrong, because like half my family comes from farmers, my mom's side. So you could say that. I was raised on the farm on summer vacation. So Alright, YouTube, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Let me know in the comments what other video you would like me to check out. And here's another cool trick. Bye, YouTube!